Welcome to this exciting episode where I remake the headlight bowls, and this time they fit.
So we begin the headlights. We have some foam, we have a ruler, we have a pen, we have the headlights around, and ages ago I made this stepped thing to mount those headlights in. I now need to make the foam to fit that, to actually take a mould for the inside shape of those lights. How hard could it be? So there's my prototype marked out to get the rough size. I'm now using nice standard rectangle with space either side to make the mould. That's the first one. Then I'm going to make them in pairs so I can do a left headlight and a right headlight. Sunday morning, and I've been thinking about this mould. That's okay. We've got the step out, we can fit those in there, the bowl goes in there. I've got the old one I made, which is sort of like that. So this will be the floor. But I need to make sure that back shape is going to fit into the wing. So I brought one of the wings in, and this goes in there. Now if I line that up as you can see, the angle there doesn't work at all, but that's not too much of a problem. I just need to make sure that will fit in there. Right, my current thinking is, to get the kind of eye shape, I need to work out where that comes down there to fit in that wing, how far forward it comes. That can get shaved down a bit to fit this corner, but how much? What? And there's nothing square or flat to measure off. So I'm now thinking, if I fill in sort of across there, that end bit with expanding foam, pop that out, put that on there, that'll give me the rough shape, so at least I can kind of pen round to get dimensions.
Waxed in foam to make the mould, and then I chopped out the front of the headlight. Don't really know why I did it now, but hey ho.
Now that hole translates into that on a bit of foam. That's the shape of the wig. What I need is to strip out the edge, and then the hole where that red bit is, where the headlight's going to be in. There's the hole for the big one. Trim around that. The little one, not so much trimming. I've coated the mould with release tape. What I'm going to do is use a series of scrap off cuts, run them over there, just so I've got basic mould. It's it's only there to trial fit stuff. I'm not worried about the quality of the finish, but it means I can make sure that the mould I've made will fit the car. That's kind of important. Right, so we've got the temporary carbon piece just to see if it fits. Note to self, just because it's called release tape doesn't mean you don't have to wax it before you use it. Yeah, minor breakage, but not too bad. Well, it fits inside the front wing. And there you have a headlight. Obviously, that needs cut to size, and that needs a hole put in. But at least I can tell what size it is now. Just doing a quick dimension check to see if these bowls fit. That one's pretty close to good. Do with a little bit more space this way, but not too bad. What's noticeable, this one is this needs being this way quite a bit. So I need to make sure that the mould takes into account more space this side for that outer ring, which obviously means the inner circle as well. Which means that needs extending that way. Bit of spray foam, bit of filler, job's done. Then just repeat for the other side.
Made this first headlight mould with the epoxy filler. Did properly. You'll see later why I didn't bother for the other side.
I now have a pair of headlight molds. That one I put the body filler over it, sanded it down smooth, but rather than going to like 1000 grit or whatever, I've used release tape, some wax and some CR1 on that. I now need to lay that up. You know those things where you carefully measure it up with the light ring, make sure everything fits perfectly, which it does. And then I realised I need to put a chrome bezel around that. Yeah, that won't fit. Okay, here's the planned surgery. What I'm going to do is cut down there, cut along that bottom bit, then this can pull out that way a bit, that can pull out that way a bit. The circle will be big enough to have that in it. Oh look, the lighting ring fits perfectly. Yeah, we'll ignore all that.
Quickly bake in those patches for the expanded ring and also the other prototype headlight.
So here's the headlight, all baked nicely. I don't believe it's going to come out of the mould nicely. On that prototype you can see where I've had to kind of lift the base up and try and put it. But for that, it's a prototype, so I've got to keep the mould in one piece. This one's finished, so theoretically I can destroy the mould, take it out.
That's theoretically, Ike. I didn't have any other choice.
And it simply popped from the mould. Safe to say I won't be using that mould again.
As I knew I was going to destroy the mould for this headlight as well, I didn't bother with the epoxy and all that. I just slathered it in tinfoil tape and waxed up out of that.
So, 2 headlights ready to fit. Had really great weather so far this spring, so I booked a week off work to work on the car outside, get those fitted in the wings, make a start the bonnet, and oh yeah, it's got English again with the weather. One of the problems I'm facing is that those lights have to be vertical, that has to be horizontal, and that hasn't got a straight line to line anything up with. What I've done is used a laser level last night to put this L2 level, which means that and that are level. It's about level with the top of that line, and inside the front wing you can see I've got a line there. So if when I put that in there I line the bottom up with that line, everything should be level. Here's the first trial fit with the headlights fitted. Slight issue. They rub there. So I need to either remove a bit of that metal or remove a bit of that carbon fibre. That bit carbon fibre is that bit there. So I might just bring that corner across. Okay, the horizontal bars need to be twisted, but that's looking pretty good. Quick check with the spirit level shows the light housings level, is just the lights need twisting around slightly. After the joy and excitement of getting these headlights fitted yesterday, cold reality of the morning is I probably need some more than hot glue to hold them in.
While I was fixing the headlights, I thought I'd line the inside of the fuel filler as well, but then you can see the top of the headlights be done, bit across the bottom, job's a good one.
Here we are fitting the headlight rings. When you're doing this, it's really hard to mark where those holes are because they're behind that and you're working inside an alcove. So you sometimes need to ovalize your holes, and a little sawmill drill set like that really makes it easy. So, 2 headlight bulbs fitted, 2 headlight bulbs fitted, making progress. We have a slight technical issue, the garage door's broken, but there's a headlight with the headlight bulbs in it. Yay, it looks alright, and same over this side where you can't actually see anything. But yeah, so in this amazing conclusion to this drama, we have 2 headlight bulbs in there that you can't actually see. But the next episode is exciting because, as you see, the bonnet's missing, and there's a whole load of tooling resin all used up making the bonnet. So like, subscribe, etc., and join me for the next exciting episode.